right, so now we're going to discuss exercises with regards to having a gluteal tendinopathy. And so the first exercise we're going to do is the clamshell. And so the most important thing about the clamshell is to make sure that the glute med is activating and not the TFL, which is in the front here. So the idea is you're going to have your knees bent and your knees are going to go behind your hip. Then you're going to have your feet super glued together. And the idea is you're going to put a hand on your butt in the back here and a hand in the front. So you should feel the back muscle come on and not the front muscle. So what you're going to do is you're going to try to engage your glute. You're going to lift your knee up and you should feel that all in the glute. You shouldn't feel this in the front. And the idea is you're going to do 10 of those. If you're feeling it in the front, that means your TFL is doing the job versus the glute med, which is a bad thing. So move your hips back a little further and then try again. And you kind of, if you want, you can stick your thumb into that glute to try and wake it up. And then you're gonna lift it up, keeping those feet super glued together. So you can do 10 of those. And I would do 2 sets. The next one we're gonna do is, it's a TFL stretch. So you're going to be super wide, feet super wide. You're going to keep your hips level on the ground. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop your knee down towards the floor. And you can see how high my hip is and my knee, how high my knee is. My hip is going to stay on the ground. I'm going to take the opposite foot. I'm going to put it onto the knee. And I'm going to basically oppose the floor. So as I'm pushing my knee down to the floor with my foot, at the same time, I'm pushing my knee up to the foot. So I'm pushing and I'm holding for 10 seconds. And then after 10 seconds, you're not gonna let it retract back. You're gonna let it drop. So see how I got it further without this hip rolling forwards. We don't want the hip to roll forwards like that. So we're gonna keep that nice and tight. And then we're gonna do it again, hold 10 seconds. And then you're gonna drop it. And you can do that 3 times. And the goal is eventually to have that knee on the floor. So my hips are kind of tight today. All right, so the next one we're gonna do is a 90-90, and that's gonna get another glute in here. So a lot of people have hip pain. This is the contributing factor. It's the #1 cause. So the idea is you're gonna be in 90-90 position. Now we don't wanna rotate our hip forwards when we do this. So we wanna stick our finger into that glute again. So we're gonna push our finger to that glute, we're gonna squeeze, and then we're gonna lift our foot up. Now you may get a cramp in here, or your hamstrings may cramp, and that just means that you haven't been using the muscle correctly. If you actually when you try and lift it, you kind of do that, you rotate your hip forwards, you're getting the TFL and not the glute med. So the biggest thing is now if you can't do it, then you take a block or a book, you put it on the foot. So again, this 90-90 position is the hip and the knee are in line and the knee and the foot are in line, and same with the back. So you got to make sure that you get it, and then this is in line here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to rotate your foot down like that. So you're going to push down. So you're going to engage the glute and then you're going to push down. You're going to hold for 10 seconds. And then you're going to relax and then engage that glute and push down again for 10 seconds. So the idea is we don't want this TFL to be engaged. And then the last exercise is we're going to do the couch stretch. So the couch stretch is you're going to be in a lunge position. Now, how close your knee is to the couch is how flexible this muscle here, your rec fem, is. So the idea is you want to be able to be upright and you can hold on to the couch. So you're going to pretend that you're going to push your foot down like you're trying to straighten your leg. So I'm going to tuck my tailbone under. I'm going to push my foot into the couch like I'm going to straighten the leg. I'm going to feel tension in the front here. I'm going to hold for 10 seconds And then after 10 seconds, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lean back. So I'm gonna basically take my hip and my upper body, and I'm gonna move back without arching my back, so keep that pelvis tucked. I'm gonna push again for 10 seconds. And then I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna move back. You can do that 3 times 10 seconds. So the goal is to get your bum to the couch. And so those are some exercises you can try to help with your tendinopathy and your hip pain. And stay tuned for more in the coming weeks.